All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening to Get Mom Ready. We're so glad to have you watching us, listening to us, wherever you are, whether you're doing, loading the dishwasher, cutting the grass, I don't know, whatever we do in the summer, changing a diaper, any of that. We're glad that you're here with us. You've got Anna and Holly with you today. And today we have an amazing guest that we found on Instagram. What a time to be alive, where we can meet friends on Instagram. But this is Sam. And then Sam, is it Stores? Am I saying that
Yeah,
correctly? Stores.
yeah.
Awesome. What a strong name. Sam
I know.
Stores.
Thank you guys. I know that is my last name. That is not my husband's last name. And I'm like, I do not want to change my last name. I love my name. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. Would love to just start with your story. Like, catch us. We're just meeting for the first time, which is what I love about Get Mom Ready. We have friend like this morning I interviewed a friend that I've known since college but haven't talked to in 15 years. And then
Uh,
today Anna and I are getting to meet you for the first time. So yeah, fill us in, tell us a little bit about you and your story to motherhood and how you call your career or work life.
yeah. Um, well, thank you, first of all, both of you for having me. Super excited to be here. I would say that I pre-motherhood, by the way, I don't know if this will resonate with anyone or not, but I was never the girl who grew up really wanting to have kids. I actually thought my whole life I would never have kids. I'm a product of divorce. I think maybe that went into it a little bit as well, but I was really that was never my dream. I grew up in a home where I had a single mom. I watched her struggle financially. My whole goal was, I never want to have to depend on a man for money. That was something that she said to me, and that really stuck with me. And, I just want to grind, grind, grind and figure out a way, you know, to make a living for myself and to be financially independent and financially free. And I'm very big into like manifestation and visualization. And kind of do all of that. And, that had just been my dream for all of my 20s. Um, I was just serving like a waitress in my 20s. I started out going to college. I actually dropped out. My dad had passed away, and I just found it pretty impossible. If anybody has experienced grief like that, it is all consuming. So I ended up dropping out of college. I waitressed for a long time. That was kind of my life for all of my 20s. And then just through networking and the relationships that I had built over time, over the course of my life, I ended up in corporate America. Um, and my whole mindset was like a hustle mindset, a grind mindset. I'm going to do whatever it takes to, at that time, six figures was like my big goal. I couldn't even imagine making
Yeah,
$100,000.
yeah.
So that was like my big dream back then. And so I kind of got started as a recruiter in IT recruiting. I, was very successful in that. Again, I'm sure this will resonate, but it's like sales. You can never, really rest on your laurels. It's grind, 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 kind of never stop. And that was just what I wanted. That's what I wanted at the time. It's definitely what I felt that I wanted. And I wanted that primarily because of money. I'm very money motivated, like I was mentioning.
Mhm.
Um, and then at work, I happened to meet my best friend in the world, who is now my husband.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was awesome. Um, and he is a little bit younger than me. And we were kind of both like, I said to him, I'm like, just so you know, I don't really want to have kids. So if that's a deal breaker for you, then, we should talk about that.
Yeah.
I think because he was younger than me, he's like, yeah, I don't want to have kids either. Who wants to have kids? Like, forget about it. So we were kind of on the same page. And then I guess, like, I don't know, through like the great God or the universe or whatever you choose to believe in, I had this is such a rip, by the way, I'm going off on like such a tangent. I know that.
No, this is great. Yeah.
Okay, good. I had like a deviated septum. I needed surgery. I went on to antibiotics.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sure I knew at one point that when you're on antibiotics, your birth control may not work. but I don't think I had heard that in like a very long time. So I kind of forgot,
Yep.
I guess. Like, when was
Yeah.
the last time? I'm like in my mid 30s at this point. I was not even, I don't know what the last time I would have heard that. So one day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I feel really weird. Like, I feel something's wrong. But you're just so in tune with your body, kind of when
Yeah.
something's up. So then of course I missed my period and I was just like, oh my God, I was kind of like knew what I was gonna find, and I took a pregnancy test and it said I was pregnant. And I just remember sitting on my bed and sobbing. And
Mm.
my, at the time, just boyfriend came in and said, like, oh my God, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, my life is over. This is going to ruin everything for me. And his reaction was kind of what changed everything for me, because he was so loving and so like, no, this is like, who cares? Like, great. We love each other. Let's make it
Oh,
work. Like, it's actually going to be an awesome thing. So I was like, it is? Like, are you sure? Um,
Oh,
it was like a really, if, for me, and I think, having the right partner is for sure everything when you have kids, because we know it's so freaking hard. Um, so that kind of changed everything for me. So we were pregnant. I ended up having a missed miscarriage
mm,
about 7 weeks in.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
that's so
had
hard.
no idea. It is, and God, that impacted me in a way I never could have seen coming, because I started like letting myself dream and imagine, what it would
yeah.
be like. And um, yeah, so I definitely was in a pretty deep depression for a while at that point. I think I was just so, because it was a missed miscarriage, and by the way, obviously all miscarriages are incredibly traumatic, but I think the thing with a missed miscarriage is you have no idea. There's no sign.
Right.
I went into the doctors fully expecting to get my ultrasound, super happy, super upbeat, and I think just getting that news, it was like I couldn't comprehend it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was just it was awful. But the blessing in all of that was that really made me realize, oh my gosh, I actually think I want to be a mom. And I was
Yeah.
36 at the time, by the way. Like, I wasn't I wasn't in my 20s. Um so, my husband and I talked about it, and we were like, yeah, we want to do this. We want to be parents. You know, that's what we want.
Hmm.
So we started trying after that, and then we became pregnant again with my son, who is now 3. And by the way, too, for anybody who has had a miscarriage, which I think so many of us have, it's so common, which is really strange because you don't really know that until you have one.
Right.
Um, it's kind of like having a dead parent. You don't really know that there's so many people out there who do until you experience it yourself.
Yes.
And there's kind of like a whole community out there.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I experienced that. And then oh, but I know what I was gonna say. So I feel like when you've had a miscarriage and then you get pregnant again, just the anxiety that you feel, especially in the first, for me, it was like the first trimester. My anxiety was so high because that's when I lost my first child.
Hmm.
And even going into the doctor's office for the first time, my husband was with me. My whole body, it's like you don't think about how your body holds trauma. And then you
Yes.
walk into the office, and the reaction, I was like sobbing, especially when they were checking for the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And again, nothing that I had ever anticipated or expected, but it was just like that was my body had been holding it. And I guess that was sort of like maybe the release. But that was very surprising to me too. But anyway, then had a healthy, son who's now 3. And then I just had my daughter 14 months ago. And I think we're done from here. But that's kind of my like story leading up to being a mom.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Miscarriage is a part of my story. And then Meredith, who's one of our other Get Mom Ready co hosts, both of us have shared about that on our stories as well. So you're not alone. And yeah, it is. I think both of us also shared in our own stories of like, you just don't realize until you've been through it how crazy and weird and hard and sad and all of it is. It really impacts you. And like so many hard situations and good situations, it just changes you as a person. And so that is, yeah, just thank you for your vulnerability and for sharing that.
Yeah. And what's interesting too is I don't hear a lot of stories about people who are not expecting to get pregnant, but like don't even want to get pregnant, and then they do, and you're finally ramping yourself up. You're like going up the roller coaster, you're getting excited, and then to have already gone through that process of getting yourself ready, of coming to terms with the fact that this is going to be reality, and then having to do that all over again on a downhill slope is that has to be so hard. And it's something that, yeah, I just don't hear about a lot, but I think a lot of people obviously experience. And so, yeah, just thank you for sharing that perspective for the many, many, many people who also have had that experience.
Hmm.
For sure.
And then,
So,
oh yeah, go ahead,
yeah, go
Anna.
ahead, Hall. Well, so I want to hear about when in your mind was work shifting for you? Like, was it as soon as you found out you were pregnant the first time? Were you kind of holding that tension of, am I going to keep working? Can I still do this? Or was it once you had your first child? Like, when did your mind start shifting in that area?
Hmm. It definitely not right away. Because I was I'm lucky enough that I get to work from home for the most part. So it's not like I'm a nurse on my feet, like, which I know plenty of, and they're like, oh my God, it's awful.
Yeah.
So that was not my experience. I had I have a really flexible job, which I know that I'm super lucky for because not everybody has that. Um, but no, didn't even think about it much. I had a great, pretty generous for our country anyway, maternity leave. So it was like about 7-ish months that I had before I really even had to think about it. It was like my first postpartum, I suffered a lot in, but really, I never thought much about work. I kind of just got back into it. I was a little bit foolish enough to think that in the beginning I could keep my baby home with me and just go to work. And I quickly realized that is no, you cannot do two jobs simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just did not understand how hard, that it's truly a job to be a mother full time.
Yeah.
Um, then I think it was really when I had my second daughter, or excuse me, my second child, my daughter, this time around, where I just had an incredible postpartum because I did so many things differently from my first.
Mm.
And it was enjoyable and it was beautiful. And I think I've been changing a lot as a person since I became a mother, which I think we all do. You just sort of view the world differently and you care about different things. Like suddenly I'm caring about all organic and I don't want to buy anything that has pesticides on it and like all these things. And with my daughter, I was like, oh my God, I don't care about work anymore. It's so funny. I just posted something today and my husband DM'd me and he was like, you should like make sure that your boss doesn't see that. But luckily I have the most amazing director ever. And that's the thing, right? Like I'm a high performer and I'm always going to be. That's just innate in me. I'm a driven person. I want to do the best job that I can. It's just that now I care about doing the best job that I can as a mother first.
Right.
And then work comes behind. And that is what I hear from all my friends. All of my friends are in corporate America. We're all full-time working women. A lot of us are the breadwinners because I think I see a lot of people on the internet say like, well, why don't you just stop working? And it's like, yeah, I would love to, actually. I would love to stop working, but I've kind of worked myself into quite a situation here where I cannot do that, because then my family would be living quite a different lifestyle. And of course you can do that. I mean, I have a friend who made the choice to do that. And, she's like, hey, we're kind of broke, but actually I'm mentally happier than I've ever been. So
That's awesome.
you're always kind of, I think about that for sure. But yeah, so I think it was when my second was born that I really, really started. I would log on to work after my maternity leave, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to like muster the stress. Like I want to be with my kids,
Yeah.
and you guys know, how hard it is, especially in the beginning, to drop your kids off at daycare and oh my God, with my daughter, it was so bad. It's like she looks at you and she's crying and you're leaving her. Like I could literally cry right now thinking about it.
I know. I could
Oh,
too. I that feeling is terrible.
it's awful. It's awful. And I started thinking like, what what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? This is insane. Like, I'm working to pay for daycare. Of course, I'm working to pay for other things too, but daycare is the for two children. And I know actually we were going to an in-home daycare, which I know is probably less expensive than many other, the other daycares.
But it's
Um,
still expensive.
it's
Childcare.
still the
Yeah.
price of our mortgage. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
um,
exactly.
yeah, so I'm working full time to put my kids in a situation where other people are raising them and um yeah, I think so. Anyway, to answer the original question, after my daughter, I was really struggling with what am I doing here? It's really tough to go to work and leave my kids, and I never thought I would ever say that.
Yeah. So how do you navigate that? So I guess your daughter is what, about 15 months old? I think you said 14, 15 months old. So how
14,
do
yeah.
you navigate that today with, your corporate job of like the, mom guilt? And even in my conversation I had on another interview this morning, she was talking about how we throw this word mom guilt out there, but I don't know that any of us can really, it's like it means so many different things to so many different people. So I'm just curious for you, like, how are you navigating that? Is it just like a daily mindset shift that you've got to like you're dealing with on a daily basis, or have you found any rhythms for you that work that help you be able to thrive in the midst of it? Or is it just like, no, I am in the thick of mom guilt right now and I don't like it and I don't know what to do or anything in between?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of in between. I find that for me personally, I am such a social person and I don't know if you guys are into science, but like I'm a Gemini and I'm very much a people person and I have so many girlfriends and that is like what gives me joy, which by the way, I don't see any of them or talk to any of them right now, so that's like a whole
Right.
nother thing. Um, but they are like I'm texting them whenever I can because I really have found that you need moms who are for sure in the same season as you because
Yeah.
they can relate, they can understand. But I also really love having moms who are in maybe one or two seasons ahead of me because then
Yeah.
they can tell me it's not going to last I mean, literally right now we are potty training and we are, oh God,
Me too.
not for the,
Solidarity, Sam. Solidarity.
not for the week. But we are potty training, and 3 days ago, my son, for the first time, climbed out of his crib for the first time, which
Oh my
so not
gosh.
only are we potty training, but we have just transitioned to a big boy bed. And I'm like, no, I'm not well. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just need to say that to, it's like I love having my husband for that for sure, but I also like I need to have my girlfriends, my mom friends. I need them to tell me, don't worry, Sam, it's not going to last forever. Just, take it one day at a time. But then I also need my moms who are like, oh my God, like, no, it's so insane. I hate this phase. Like, so for me, for sure, friends are such a huge help with that. Um, that's probably my number one help is really going to them and having them remind me, you're not a bad mom, you're not a bad wife, you're not a bad friend, you're not a bad employee. Um, that I think is the biggest struggle. You just can't give anything your full attention, including yourself. And oftentimes you're actually the very lowest at the totem pole. And I think that needs to be adjusted a little bit too. And that's something that I'm really trying to work on. Um, but yeah, I think it's like changing the by the day, if I have a big work meeting tomorrow, then that does have to be my priority for that day. But maybe the next day my son starts preschool. Well, then he's getting the priority that day. Or maybe my son's having a huge meltdown. Well, he has to be priority over my daughter in that exact moment. And it's literally just, which by the way, I feel like corporate America has really prepared me for this, but it's literally just can like your priorities and continuing to adjust sometimes by like the minute, the
Hmm.
hour, the day, the month, whatever. So I think for me, that's the biggest thing, which by the way is exhausting. It's mentally
Yeah.
exhausting. And
Yeah.
I think I've had to come to terms with that. This is a season in my life that will not last forever, but it is exhausting. And I have nothing left most days, nothing.
Yes.
And I think that's just kind of the reality, unfortunately, of so many of us who are full-time working mothers, where we are expected to do the morning shift when your kids wake up and you got to get them ready. Then you start your second shift of the day where you're logging on from work. Then you're clocking out of work and you start the third shift where it's the all that routine from the kids. And then you're lucky if you have an hour or two at the end of the night to either sit with your husband, catch up with your friends, or watch a Bravo show where that, involves no brain cells for like a tiny break. Um, so yeah, I guess for me, just the biggest thing is to have people who understand that and can relate to that and I can talk to about that because I don't know that they're like is a solution exactly,
Hmm.
besides trying to prioritize.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. Well, but you have built a decent following on Instagram. You've got like 4,000 followers. You're a creator on Instagram. You've got like 4,000 followers. So talk to us about, well, and also tell us what, because I don't know that we heard what you're doing now for work. So you started in recruiting and then, so yeah, guide us through like, how do you spend your time um, work during the day? And then you're also building your Instagram following, which I think you're doing a killer job, by the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you guys.
That's
But this
hard work.
year,
Anna and I
oh
know
my
how
God.
that is.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I'm just an insane person, I think sometimes, but um yes. So now I work for a company. So I started out in recruiting. I left that company many years ago and I work for a large cloud company now. And my role essentially is an account manager. And I really enjoy it because again, I'm a people person. So my role essentially is to manage customers who have already purchased our product or services,
Yeah.
make suggestions for best practices, and I do a lot of data analysis, which I didn't do in my last role, and I actually really enjoy that. Um, so that's cool. So I like what I do.
Mhm.
Um, so that's kind of me by day. I travel a lot to New York to visit customers in person, which for me, I'm in or excuse me, South Jersey. So it's like a 2 hour drive, and I do drive, which some
I know. I
people
was about
think
to
is
say, take the
crazy.
train. Why not take the
I
train?
know, I know. I like the moment that it's over, I like to get in my car and I like to leave and I like to feel, I think I have a weird control thing. I like to feel like I'm in control, even though, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
there's traffic and there's all of that. Um, but so I do that and then, yeah, content creation, it's interesting. I think that kind of came out of my need and want for connection. And like I was saying, most of my best friends right now are in the same exact season of life that I am. And I mean, you guys know, and most mothers know, it can feel super isolating.
Yeah.
Even though I have so many friends who are in the same season, but because they are, none of us have the time for each other, right? And then, like
Yes.
Yes.
I was saying, my husband is a stand-up comedian. So then at night
Mhm.
and on weekends, a lot of times he's not home. So you can
Mhm.
only watch, I don't know if you guys are, or if there's any Bravo girlies out there, but you can only watch so much Bravo before you're like, okay, I like kind of need something to do. Um, and I love reading and I love all of those things, but I'm just a creative person. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see At that time, I was really going through like the sleep regressions, and I was going through the baby phase. So I was like, I'm just gonna start to post like some sleep stuff because I got
Mm.
really into the sleep stuff. I don't know if you guys ever did like taking care of babies or if you follow her,
Mhm.
but obviously, I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
like
Yep.
my
So
holy
helpful.
Bible of sleep
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff. And I obviously have bought buy all of her courses and recommend her to everybody. But because I was so ingrained in that at the time, I was like, I'm just gonna share like what I've done and whatever.
Yeah.
So I just kind of started doing that, and certain things would pick up here and there, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And I have like one of my sister-in-law's friends does content creation in sort of like that mom space, and she's been really successful. So she was giving me some pointers. I'm like, okay, cool. This is just like fun for now for me, you know? And I like people reaching out and asking me things. I like feeling like I can make an impact based off of my experience. It just kind of makes it feel like maybe it's all been, you know, worth
Worth
it.
it.
Yeah.
Something good coming out of this.
Yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, I just like connecting with people, and so it's been really fun. And I think as long as it stays kind of fun for me and it doesn't feel like a ton of pressure or anything, then, you know, I'm happy to keep doing it and keep connecting and all of that. So, but yeah, it's been
Awesome.
fun, and I've met some really great like other moms and women, and so
Mhm.
far, yeah, it's been awesome.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing. But how do you balance it all?
Oh, yeah.
How?
Mm, I don't know that I do. And maybe people can relate to this, but I feel like I am always my own worst critic, and I feel like I'm so hard on myself. And I think most of us are as moms, probably, or just as women, maybe in general, even if you're not a mom. But I do my best to create on Sunday like a content or excuse me, on Monday mornings. Because by the way, when I'm on the weekends with my kids, like I found that it's really difficult. Maybe I'll try to record some stuff. I'll just try to integrate it into my normal life. Like if I'm, you know, cooking food or doing meal prep, I'll try to just film myself just so I
Right.
have content. Um, but other than that, it's like my weekends are my time with my kids. So I'll use, you know, some work, my work time on Monday. Like I'll carve out maybe like 30 minutes here or there to come up with a content calendar. And then, you know, at the end of the night, I will edit and try to post. And I mean, you don't, there's no free time,
Yeah.
truly. Like, there's no free time. But that's why I say, like, for now, it's fun. And so
It's like
it,
a hobby for you, especially since it sounds like your husband, his schedule being at nights, like you guys are kind of the opposites as your schedule. Like you have a little bit of alone time where when he's out doing shows, where that's like your hobby time.
yes,
But the minute that it
yes.
becomes work, probably might readjust.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so talk about since your husband is gone a lot of nights and you're
Hmm.
working a lot of days,
Hmm.
how have y'all worked that out together of like, are there shifts that he has or are there jobs that he has? Like, how do you make sure that y'all are aligned and that each of you feels content with your rhythms and what's going on with the kids and work and everything else that life is?
Yeah. So we try to just talk a lot. In an ideal world, like I've seen some couples say, you know, they have like almost like work meetings or, you know, you like sit down once a month and you're going over your, you know, hey, this is what went well last month and this is what we want to do next month. Like, I wouldn't say do that. I think that would be cool to do. Maybe one day we will, but I think we're a little bit more like casual with it where, you know, we do maybe at the end of the night, we'll sit down and, you know, we're kind of like rehashing the night and we might just say to each other, like, hey, I need you to do this more. I need you to do that more. Or I'm feeling like, I mean, I am lucky. I have an amazing husband. And I think that, you know, like, let's say, for example, all weekend he had shows at night. So I am doing the nighttime routine for both children. So, which I hate. That is, at least I hate it right now because of the stage that we're going through. It's like,
You're in
was like,
two really hard ages for nighttime routine. That is totally
Woo.
valid.
yes. And with like the switch of the bed and the potty training, there's been a major uptick in tantrums. And it's basically I mean, to have a 3-year-old tantrum and a 14-year-old crying because she is now, you know, like, what the hell is going on, mom? So that's tough. And he knows that. And so it's like when I'm doing that, and I have my systems for that, and my help for that, but he's kind of then knowing like, okay, you know what? Sam had it pretty hard last night. So this morning I'm going to wake up with the baby when she wakes up. And we kind of just do our best to take turns and also understand that it's probably never going to be fully equal or fully 50-50. But I would say the biggest thing for us is just to communicate, to try to communicate in the moment if we can. If not, we have to, you know, you have to say it later. You can't just internalize it, which is something that I definitely struggle with and try to work on, because again, I think as women, we're just so used to carrying the load, and we just kind of assume that role, and then resentment builds up. So I think we don't have like a specific chart for this person does that or whatever. It's just like, if you see something that has to get done, do it. Like if there's
Yeah.
laundry on the floor, you don't need me to tell you that there's laundry on the floor. Like, pick it up and you do it. Same thing with the dishes. And I cook, you know, he cooks breakfast, so I'll do dishes after that. And then I'll do like lunch, pack lunch for everybody, do dinner. So then he'll do the dishes after that. And I guess it's at this point sort of just an unspoken rhythm that we have. And, you know, if one person's not doing it that day, you pick up the slack, and it just is what it is. But for sure, just try to kind of communicate that as we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
That is awesome. It's hard to, I mean, I feel like my husband and I, even though we have really good rhythms, we still run into the like, you know, still run into the like, I'm like, why can't you just do this? And he's like, why can't you just communicate to me that you want it done and I'll do it? You know, and it's like,
Totally.
ugh,
Totally. Which, by the way,
back and
men,
forth.
it's like, that's the whole point, though. We don't
Yeah.
want to have to communicate.
Thank
That's
you.
something in my mental load that I want taken out of my brain. I don't
Right.
want to have to tell you to, but yes, of course. I mean, and it's the same thing. I think, you know, men are obviously just built differently, but we have those
Mhm.
same conversations. He's like, well, just tell me and I'll do it. And I'm like, that is the point.
Yes.
I
I don't
don't
want to
have
have
to
to
tell you.
manage you. Exactly. We
We
need
have
to
a
start a podcast
whole
called Get Dad Ready, and moms talking about everything they wish that the dads would do.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. And that's
yeah.
the funny part. It's like, even if, you know, again, it sounds like you do too. It's like, I have a great husband. He helps out so much. I was actually just looking at something the other day that was talking about how millennial dads do
Yes.
so much more than previous generations. And I totally feel, I mean, again, he's like, I feel lucky for him every day. But yes, it's like, they need to be told stuff. I don't know. That's like it's like, guys, I don't know. Maybe some
Yes.
Yeah.
men don't, but
Yeah. No,
my husband
I
does.
think so. I think so. Yeah.
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 Oh, that's awesome, Sam. Well, yeah, any other like advice or thoughts or lessons learned when it comes to being a working mom, that like things you wish you would have known, or things that you get feedback on your Instagram account where you're like, man, moms, we need to hear this.
Yeah. I think that first off, I would say, if you're able, and again, I know everyone is not, but if you're able to find a career and a company that offers you flexibility for, you know, you need PTO days because your kids get sick, and you know what I mean? Like, that flexibility is I think imperative. And I feel so lucky for that every day, because even with that flexibility, it's still incredibly hard.
Yeah.
So without that flexibility, I know it's, 1,000 times harder. So if you're able to, I highly recommend trying to, if you're interviewing, when you're interviewing, and this is like the recruiter in me coming out, but you're also interviewing these companies, right? Like knowing your worth is super important, especially as a mom, because moms truly are the best employees. Like we're already
Yes.
project managing an entire household, and then you're, doing an incredible job at work. So there's really no better employee than a mother, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So really understanding your own worth going into these interviews, making sure that you're also interviewing them and making sure that they know that flexibility is, really important to you. Um, so anyway, I think that has really, really helped me. And I just think the village, it's funny, one of my friend's husbands said this years ago, but he's like, that's why that expression exists, because forever and ever ago, children were raised truly by a village. And we are, and obviously I can only speak as an American woman, but I feel like in our society, we are so siloed now. And it's truly just the husband and the wife who are both working full time, trying to do it all, trying to have two full-time jobs in the same day at the same time. And so I think if you are able to get support, whatever that looks like, in any way that you can, I highly recommend leaning on that support and not feeling bad or guilty about that. I think as a high performing, um, type A driven person, sometimes I would almost feel like that was a failure if I
Mm.
was asking for help. But it's not. I mean, you can only show up as your best self, as a great employee, as a great mother, as a great wife, with help. It's we can't do it all. We can't do it all at the same time. I think
Mm.
that's a lie. I think, remember those books like when we were in our 20s, and it's like, you can have it all. Like you can have it all. You can have the
Hmm.
big career. You can, sure, but you can't have it all at the same time. And
Yes.
so that is something that I have learned and I'm accepting, um and I'm starting to become really okay with that. My work today, I can't sign up for all the extra projects. I can't do all the extra calls. I can't log on to a 6 o'clock, whatever, um and that's okay, because when my kids are older, that will then be my season to go back and grind like I did all my 20s.
Hmm.
So this is just the season that I'm in. And yeah, not everything's going to get your full attention. But one thing I will say that I'm really seeing resonating is there's such a, that's why this podcast is so awesome, because there is such a large group of us millennial women. I almost said
Mhm.
girls. I feel like I'm just a girl.
Yeah,
I know. I
we're
know.
still
Like,
18.
yeah, exactly. But like millennial women who are now, we were kind of sold the dream, right? Like we were told to work so hard and get your degree and make six figures, and who needs a man, and, don't be a whatever. And I feel like that was kind of like all a lie. And now that I'm in that position, like all I want is to be with my kids, and,
Mhm.
um, so I think that, what I'm hearing is that that is really resonating with so many women. So
Yes.
many women feel this. And I think it's a, problem in our country for sure. Like we've got to figure it out. And I think some companies are starting to do that. And I really hope that big companies continue to follow suit and offer better maternity leave and offer better flexibility, because we can't be expected to give our all to everything. It's not possible. There's nothing, it's just not impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna burn out our people, and or they're gonna not be able to achieve goals because they're trying to give 100% to everything, and it's literally impossible. The math doesn't math. Yeah.
The math doesn't math. And I
I'm
think
terrible
it's
at math, but I know that math doesn't math.
Same. Also terrible at math, but I same know that math doesn't math. And I think too that like, it's great that we can talk about our systems that work for us, and which I do. And it's great we can talk about tips and tricks and whatever. But I also think that it's really important that we just have to continue crying out like, this is not working. It's not working. It's not working for us. And that needs to continue to be pushed as a conversation until there's like until we're so loud that it can't be ignored anymore and real change happens. And that's, by the way, not like a political way, comment one way or the other. It's just like we're all parents, no matter what you believe or whatever, and it's something that has to change for every parent. It can't, so anyway, I digress, but yeah, I think that we just have to continue to like stick together and push forward, and hopefully drive some real change, and know that we're not alone. And there's so many people who feel like us, and we're kind of each other's community. So
yes, we are. Yeah, the village is such a good term of like, it really does take a village. Okay, Sam, I'm going to channel my inner Meredith, who is not here today, but one of our co-hosts, who's way better at being like a pop culture girly. I'm like the worst. I like love to talk about business and I don't know, listen to like boring podcasts about sociology. So I'm going to channel my inner Meredith here. You have great skin. So tell us about your skincare routine. I want to
Oh
hear
my
all about it.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I know you glow.
You are
glowing.
Oh my gosh.
Glowing.
Guys, wow. I need to come on this podcast more often. Thank you. Thank you so much. What is my skincare routine? So I'm a big non-toxic girl. Everything, I really, really care about that stuff. So I have made a change actually. And the products that I use now are called, I know it's Young Goose, which is just a funny name. But it's like medical grade, non-toxic. And one other thing that I can't think of right now, but I will send to you guys just so you can like put it in there, because they are amazing. Like I swear now by these products. They're amazing. But anyway, I do. And like those washcloths, this is how much, guys, by the way, I like invest in my side. It's like, I can't remember, but they're like those cloths now that are supposed to like exfoliate your skin. I don't ever use a towel anymore, which I did for a long time, but I never use towels anymore. And you can get like a subscription. I'll send them to. Once I send them, you're going to be like, oh my God, I know what you're talking about. I've already seen
probably not.
these.
I'm the one who like, I literally use, Meredith is going to cringe when she listens to this. I clean my face most nights. Occasionally I use like good face wash. Maybe let's call it once a week. The majority of the time I use the Costco, like the Kirkland brand face makeup removers. That's my skincare. So,
oh God. Okay.
So no. So that's why I need help.
So you might not know then.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'll send you guys everything just in case you want it or need it. But yes, I will start like in the morning. I will not wash my skin. I only will do like a full wash at night. But in the morning, I'll just wet with filtered water. I'm sorry. I know some people are.
That's amazing with filtered water.
We shower in filtered water.
Oh wow,
there's like a little, yeah. Well, so it's not like a full system. I think that's probably wildly expensive. They're just like little, sort of inserts you can do, and I can send you all that stuff if you guys care. If not, I totally don't have to.
Yeah, send it all.
But just remind me, otherwise I will forget to do that.
We'll text you.
But text me. So I'll do filtered water on this little cloth, and I just do like a little like quick, and then I do this mist by Young Goose. It's like a vitamin C mist, which is, then I put on my serum. So the mist kind of like preps my skin for the serum. I do like a little sort of it's not retinol, it's a retinol alternative serum. And then I will just do my moisturizer on top of that, and that's it. And like my sunscreen, I'll do a little sunscreen. That will be it. And then for night, it's almost exactly the same, except I will do like my full face wash,
So
which I
you're
do
not
like a double
wearing
cleanse.
any like foundation or like colored moisturizer, or is it like a tinted moisturizer?
Yes, it is. It's a tinted moisturizer. My cousin-in-law is a dermatologist, and it's like everyone knows this one. It's like I think MD Ulta or something. I might be
Oh
saying
yeah.
it wrong, but yeah, like
Okay.
everybody uses that. So that's what I'll use, and it is tinted.
Awesome. I need
Yeah,
that. Because
yeah, that's good.
I do like Ilia brand, which is
Yeah,
like non-toxic and all the
yeah.
things, but even their SPF, I don't know what they call it. It is kind of like I don't know. Anyway, it's a little too thick for me right now in the summer here because it's so freaking
Hmm.
hot,
Yeah.
which is crazy because it's like still very light. Like I never wear like
Hmm.
full cakey foundation stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm in the market I bought some this is who I am. You're gonna laugh. I bought some at CVS and it was like way too dark, like 2 shades too dark. And I don't know if you've noticed that on a
Funny.
couple of our podcasts. I'm like, I look like I got a spray tan on my face and then my neck is like
That
pale. And
is
I'm like, oh my
so
gosh, this is
funny.
so embarrassing.
Wait, you
Anyway,
know what you have to do? So I'll
yeah.
send this to you too. It's a brand called Tubes and Co.
Okay.
They have a completely clean makeup line, and you can actually order like sample package, whether it's like light, medium, dark skin, and they'll send you
Yes.
really small, like maybe like 8 different colors, so you can test them out and
Wow.
try them, then buy the full, and they give you like a 20% off to buy the full. So, because yeah, that's like, I don't know what my
Right?
I never put makeup on. I don't have, like, who has the time? If I'm going to a meeting, like this, I will put
Yeah.
makeup on, but otherwise, but I thought that was so cool. I'm like, oh my God, you never see like brands doing that. And I thought
Yeah,
that
Yes.
was
that's
such a
awesome.
genius thing.
Yeah.
And actually I have a code that I can give you guys for that too.
Yes.
But they
Yeah.
are, I heard about them on, if you guys are into like follow Branch Basics at all, that's a completely non-toxic cleaning product
Oh,
line.
Okay.
yes. I feel like I
So
can see is it like a hunter green or like a forest green kind of logo? Maybe I don't know.
maybe, but
Okay.
she's like very well known in that community, and she has an incredible story too, which obviously I won't get into, but really cool girl to listen to. But so she recommended Tubes and Co. Actually, guys, I think it
Yeah.
might be a small family-owned company in Texas.
Well, we got to
Really?
know about it. Send us all the links.
Yes.
That's
Yes, remind me to
awesome.
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also water and clean diet.
Yes, I know.
Water.
Oh, yes, water. It's so true. Well,
Yeah.
Sam, this was so much fun. I feel like we could talk to you for
Yeah,
hours.
I
And
know.
also, I am just learning about astrology. I have a couple of friends that are like super into it. But I will say, um, there's been a pattern in my life recently where I feel very connected to Geminis. Apparently, what is it called? It's like your moon and your sun. I think I have a
Hmm.
Gemini moon, I think,
Love that.
which means so because like one of Anna and I's clients and another of this is like a whole another story for another day, but like
Yeah.
I believe like a really providential person that came into my life over the past year have the same birthday.
No
Uh,
way.
there
Wow.
is
That's
something,
a
and then my
sign.
another really dear friend that has just been like maybe in the last 2 years, her birthday was like 3 days before theirs. So anyway, I'm like,
Wow.
you cannot make it up that like three of the most impactful people in my life right now had
Hmm.
birthdays within 3 days of each other.
Hmm.
So anyway, we were like, look at one of my friends who's like really into it was like looking all of it up. And she was like, well, they're Geminis and you have a Gemini. I think it's a moon, rising moon or whatever it is. I don't know. I get it all confused, but
Yeah. What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Gemini, anyway, yes, that's cool. That means something.
Yeah,
That
well,
definitely
when
means
we looked
something.
it up, it was like Claude said that it was like because apparently Gemini's, um, yeah, because I guess like if it is my moon or whatever, that like Gemini's on the outside are
Mhm.
how I want to be on the
Oh.
inside. Like, so I'm attracted, apparently, like not like attracted, obviously, like
No, I
into, like,
know.
yeah.
Yes, of course.
Like
Yeah.
I'm drawn, I'm connected to Geminis,
Yeah.
apparently. This is all with Claude. Or, and maybe too, it's like, it makes sense with like this season in my life of launching my business over the past year of like, Geminis are known to be very like cool, calm, and collected, like a very like grounded. Geminis, I think, are like very grounded people. And so, yeah, it was like they exemplify on the outside what you desire to be on the inside. So I was like, maybe there's
Wow.
something to that. So anyway,
Hmm.
who
That's
knows?
so
That's
cool.
cool.
That's all that to
Yeah.
say. Great to meet you, Gemini, Sam.
You
And
guys too. It was so fun. I know. I feel like we could chat for hours, so we definitely have to stay in touch, but it was so fun and thank you guys so much.
absolutely. And
So
everybody,
fun.
thank you so much for listening to Get Mom Ready. Make sure you go to getmomready.com. We talked about, especially here at the end, lots of awesome links if you want skin like Sam's. So go to getmomready.com, subscribe. We do a Sunday reset that drops every Sunday night, help you get reset for the week. And then we have our weekly episodes like this one that you're listening to, and you get all the show notes, all the links, and everything. And then if you're someone who's like, man, I resonate with a lot of what Sam talked about today, and you are interested in coaching and having a partner that can walk alongside you and figuring out this whole mom life, we would love to get you ready for that. So you can find out more about that at getmomready.com. Click on coaching, and you can have a free discovery call with Meredith on our team. All right, Sam, have a great rest of your week. And Anna, you too. I mean, I know I talk to you all the time, Anna, so I'll talk to you soon.
I know. Yeah. Bye,
Bye,
Sam. Thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye,
Talk to you
Sam.
later.
See ya.